Let's quickly get into this conversation now. The Electoral Commission of South Africa says misinformation is one of the biggest problems it faced during last year's general elections. The body today released its report in Parliament. IEC Chief Electoral Officer Sy Mamabolo joins us now to unpack the findings in a moment. And Mr. Mamabolo, good evening to you. Thanks very much for your time. I'm worried about time given the amount of things that we're going to have to unpack here. So let's quickly deal with another big highlight. So apart from misinformation, what would you say were the two most difficult issues that were faced during last year's elections?
Thank you very much, Koli, and to your viewers. What message we wanted to present to Parliament and through Parliament to the populace of the country? One is that the elections ICT system, in other words, our information and communication systems, were not penetrated. That's the first point that we wanted to indicate, that the results that we presented to the country remains the authentic results predicated on the voting preferences of 16.2 million people who took part in that election. Secondly, we did have challenges, as we know, the issue of the leaderboard and the performance of the voter management device in relation to the voters' roll app. But even with that, the election has met the standard for freeness and fairness demanded in terms of the Constitution. But beyond that, the election met the international norms for credibility and freeness. So we wanted to get that message abundantly clear across the country and through this parliamentary process.
Let's then quickly deal with two issues that, at least in my view, having covered local government elections, they are coming up next year. Political killings and voter apathy, they usually accompany local government elections. What's your strategy in dealing with these?
Well, let's start with the issue of as you put it, voter apathy. Historically, local government election has had lower voter turnout than national and provincial elections. And it's a world phenomenon. Are we happy about it? Certainly not. And what are we going to be doing? We've already started with a schools democracy a project where we're partnering with the Department of Basic Education. We're going into the classroom environment and engage young persons about the value of electoral democracy and why they have to be on the voters' roll. They first have to get an ID. They then have to register to vote and actually go out on the day to register. So that's an important and critical issue we're working on. But as you would have seen, even in last year's elections, we've started doing not just communication, but voter and civic education on social media channels. And this is precisely because young persons receive their educational material, their educational matter from social media platforms. They don't go to physical meetings. They receive everything. They engage politically, so to speak, on social media channels. So that's where we need to find young people. And then the third leg of it is the online voter registration. Again, our primary target, which is the youth, are not people who can go queue at voting stations. These are people who just want to have convenience. And we've got to meet them halfway in relation to that. And we are doing so with the online registration portal.
It's a question that you've avoided answering, and I'm going to persist on it, because it is a common feature of local government elections. Political killings. Whose responsibility is this, and how does the IEC deal with it?
Certainly, Chair, Kole, is the responsibility of security forces of the Republic, security institutions of the Republic, to create circumstances and conditions where in every person can raise their political aspirations without fear of being killed, nor without fear of being harmed in any way, or their property being demolished and so on. Our duty, therefore, is to ensure that we give the right election data to security institutions so that they can plan for these events that are forthcoming, but they can also monitor the environment to know who are the perpetrators of these killings and to bring them to book. In that line, it is the intention of the Commission to meet with the senior leadership of the police service early on so as to get them to outline their plans in terms of how they're going to deal with political killings, especially although this finds expression in the whole country, but it has a preponderance of happening in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, which is why a while back, even the provincial government appointed Advocate Moerane to do a commission of inquiry. So those engagements with the police are under pipeline, and we hope that some fruition will be reached through those engagements.
IEC Chief Electoral Officer Sy Mamabolo, thank you very much for your time this evening.